together this review to go over everything that we had done before Thanksgiving break so that we can just remember what was going on. So these first two, all it says is write the congruent statement. All that means is matching things together. So we're going to say triangle, so put our little triangle symbol. And it doesn't really matter what order you put the letters of the first triangle, so I'm going to just call it A, B, C. The point is you have to make it match up when you do the second one. And do you remember our symbol for congruent? What does the congruent symbol look? Yeah, equal. Oh, good vocabulary with a little tilde, a little squiggly. That means congruent. And so we're going to put triangle. And then here's where you just have to match it up. What matches with A? That's all we're doing is matching things. L, perfect. You just got to get it in the right order. B has two little kind of rainbow tick marks on it. That matches with M. And once you get the first two letters, I mean, a triangle only has three sides. There's only one other letter, so L, M, N. That's it. You're just matching things up. We're going to do the same thing with this one. So triangle. And again, the order doesn't matter for the first one. You're just kind of writing it on here. So I'm just going to say RST. Doesn't matter. And then congruent to triangle. And then you just have to make it go in the right order. So what does R correspond to? Yeah, X. Good. And then S, I put in the middle, S corresponds to W, and then there's only one letter left, which is Y. So just matching things up. Same thing with this. This time you're given the congruent statement, and then we're going to match things together. This little M means measure. So measure of angle F equals measure of angle what? And then you just match it up. So F is the third letter in the statement, so that corresponds to S. That's it. If you're bored, cool. Just be happy that it's that easy. You're just matching letters together. All right, just take advantage of the fact that it's simple. All right, measure of angle R, congruent to measure of angle. It's more symbols than really anything else. All right, what does R go with? E, cool, the middle letter. These are sides. Sides are a tiny bit trickier because they're two letters, and also they can go in either order. So the order doesn't matter. Like DF is the same as FD. All right, so DF, that's the first letter, and the third letter corresponds to QS. Or you can write SQ, and that means the same thing. All right? And then QR corresponds to DE or ED. Again, doesn't matter. Now here we're going to do some actual math. This is where I might actually need the calculator here. Here's our congruent statement. Don't go by the picture. The picture can lie to you. It might not look correct. You always go by this statement right here. We want to find measure of angle A. Well, in order to get A, first I need, yes, good. C matches up with R, which is 35. So I can put 35 right there. Good, you said it before I could even say anything. And then I'm going to add 115 and 35. I'm going to just, let me pull up my calculator on this one so I don't have to keep switching screens. I'm going to add 115 plus 35 and then do what with that? Subtract it from 180. I just typed that in the calculator and I got 30. So 30 degrees is our answer. So you just match things up to find what you're missing. Again, don't go by these pictures. You want to go by the congruent statement. We want to find X and the length of PR. So we have to find two different things here. Now, the only thing I have in this triangle is CB or BC. All right. So we have to see what that corresponds to in the other one. BC corresponds to what? QR. So that is this one right here. You don't need this 4x minus 7. It's there to distract you. It's extra information. All right. So we're going to set these two things equal. And I think we can work that out by hand. I don't need Desmos for that. That's not too difficult. What would you do to both sides first? You got to get all the x's together. So what are we going to do? We would minus 3. You kind of have options. You can move it either direction. I like to keep the x's positive, so that's why I moved it that way. 7x minus 3x is 4x. And then what else do I still have there? Yeah, -1 and then equals 15. Just remembering our algebra skills. You all passed algebra 1, so I know you can do it. All right, then what? We got 2 more steps here. Yeah, add 1. 4x equals 16. And then your last step is divide by 4. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. Cool. So we found x, but we're not finished. Make sure you read the directions. We also have to find the length of PR. Oh, you know what? I scratched that out a little prematurely. I actually do need that 4x minus 7 to find PR. How would I get P? Pretend I didn't scratch it out. Whoops, shouldn't have done that. I'm going to take this 4 that we got for x and do what with it? Yeah, good. We're going to plug it back in. 4 times 4 minus 7. So 4 times 4 is 16 minus 7 is 9. So 9 is the answer for that. Cool. I should not have scratched that out. We learned from Miss Cole's mistakes, right? Sometimes you do end up needing all the information. Are you remembering this from last week, though? Is this coming back to us at all? Triangles and matching things up, kind of all it is. All right, here, first thing we're going to have to find is x. I know it says find measure of angle n, but we're going to have to get the variable first. So let's match these up. D matches with what? It's the first letter, L. Cool. So we're going to set those equals. 6x minus 5 equals 3x plus 40. We'll do that by hand. It's not that hard. We don't have a ton to do today. We have the time. Let's use our algebra skills. What would you do to both sides to get the x's all? Yeah, subtract the x. It's going to go really similar to the one we just did. You guys are all nice and focused today. This is good. So 6x minus 3x is 3x. And then you kind of just have the rest of that. A lot of math is recopying what's there. Just be happy that it's easy. You can recopy what's there, all right? Minus 5 equals 40. Cool. Then what? Yeah, add 5. I'm going to do plus 5. That gives you 3x equals 45. Cool. Last step. Divide by 3. I'm just going to throw it out there. Does anyone know that? 45 divided by 3. If not, I'll tell you or I'll type it in the calculator. But it's bigger than 10. Close. Yeah, 15. Now, we have to find measure of angle n. So that's this triangle right here. I know this angle's 32. What could I do to get this one now that we got that x is 15? Yeah, plug it in. So it'll be 3 times 15 plus 40, which I'm going to just be your calculator for this. That's going to come out to 85. So this angle is 32, M. L is 85. N is the one we're looking for. What am I going to type in my calculator to get that? Yeah, 32 plus 85, and then subtract it from 180. I got 63 degrees. That was kind of like a scavenger hunt. You couldn't jump straight to N. We did a lot there. We set these equal and found X. We plugged that back in and got 85, and then we had to subtract these from 180. Sometimes there's a lot of steps, right? This is a harder problem. All right, do you see triangles? No, that means you are going to have to draw them, okay? They don't need to be pretty. They just need to have 3 sides. Now, since you're in charge, make things match up. You're drawing your own picture, so make things match together. I'm going to put A at the top of this triangle. What does that mean I should put at the top of this one? Yeah, M. Like, don't just start throwing the alphabet on there. Like, make it make sense, right? I'm going to put B over here. That matches N. And then C matches, or corresponds, I should say, is like the official vocabulary word. All right. Now we're going to start filling things in. Measure of angle A is 42. So that goes right there. Measure of angle B is 65. Oh, and before I even do anything else, before I even read anymore, how could I get angle C? Because we're probably going to need that. Yeah. Add them and subtract from 180. So what is it? 65 plus 42 minus 180. I got 73. I just typed that in the calculator. If you have 2 angles, oftentimes you might as well just go and find the third because it's easy to do. That took us like 3 seconds and then we have it. All right, then what's the other thing we can fill in? Don't they give us one other thing? Measure of angle O is 7x plus 38. That goes right there. So find the value of x. We'll match them up. Which 2 things can we set equal? Yep, 73, good, and yeah, like so that stuff, right? So we're going to set those equal, and we'll work that out by hand. That's not that hard. That's only 2 steps. So first you're going to subtract 38. I don't want to do that wrong in my head, so I'm going to just type it in. It is 35. And then last step, divide by 7. Again, I'm just going to throw it out there. Does anyone know that? If not, I will tell you, but 7 times what is going to give you 35? 5. Good. Nice. When you divide, it's just your times tables, but kind of backwards. So you're doing like 7 times what? Like if you know your 7 times tables, you can work it out. Are we done, or do I have to take that and plug it back in and do something else? Yep, we're done. It says find X. We found X. Right? That's everything that your quiz on this unit was on. The next thing that we did, which we're going to spend more time on today, were all of these angle and side patterns. So side, angle, side, angle, angle, side. You remember all those? Okay, cool. Well, let's see. All you really need to do is look at one triangle. What's marked on that one? Side, side, side. That's the easiest one, in my opinion. Now, we're also going to put yes or no. Does that one work or not? Yes. Most of them do work. There's only 2 that don't. All right. You only need to look at one triangle. So just look at this one. You have 2 sides and then 1 angle. Is the angle in between is the question. Yeah. The angle's in the middle. Side, SAS. Okay. Does that one work? Yes. Cool. All right. Again, just look at one triangle. You have 2 angles. You guys are saying it before I can even ask. Very good job. All right. And does that one work? Yes. Most of them do. All right. For this one, again, just look at one triangle. You have 2 sides and an angle. The angle's not in between. Yeah. So I guess you can write angle, side, side if you want to. I would never mark it wrong. I think that's funny. But anyway, this one does not work. The one that spells the naughty word backwards is the one that does not work. All right. How about this one? It is a right angle. Good. You have the hypotenuse and you have one other side, which is called a leg. Hypotenuse leg. That's only for right triangles, and that one does work. And then this one, again, only look at one triangle. You have 2 angles and a side. Is the side in between them? No. So it is angle, angle, side. The side is not in the middle. So you just don't put the S in the middle. And that one also works. There's one other pattern, and it's the one that doesn't work. Does anyone remember the 7th pattern? I just couldn't fit it on here. Yeah, and if you want to write yourself a note, that's the 7th one. Angle, angle, angle is also a no. I just couldn't fit a 7th problem on the paper, but there's 7 patterns. 5 of them work, 2 of them don't. So those are your patterns. You guys remembered that really well. I'm super proud of you.